Today on the Rockbridge Report, find out what Lexington will be doing this 4th of July instead of flying hot air balloons.
Can Rockbridge County teachers expect a raise this year? We'll take you inside the classroom.
And later, we'll tell you how bluegrass music and oysters can help raise money for healthcare. All that and more on today's Rockbridge Report.
Live from the campus of Washington and Lee University with news for Rockbridge County, this is the Rockbridge Report.
Welcome to our final Rockbridge Report of the semester. I'm Polly Niskova.
And I'm Keenan Willard. Rockbridge Area Habitat for Humanity dedicated its latest home this afternoon. The local nonprofit teamed up with Washington and Lee University and State Farm Insurance to complete the project. John Tompkins was at the dedication.
After 4 months of construction, Phyllis and Duck Napier's brand new home is finally finished.
It doesn't seem real, you know, it's a long time dream.
The Napiers partnered with Rockbridge Area Habitat for Humanity to build their new house. The local nonprofit is part of an international organization that provides improved housing for people on fixed and low incomes. Rockbridge Habitat constructs about 4 new homes in the county each year, but Executive Director Lynn Leach said the organization gives hand-ups, not handouts.
Everyone over the age of 18 has to contribute 200 hours of sweat equity building their own house and homes of other partner families as well. It's not a free home at all. They will be repaying a mortgage. Their home's financed with a USDA low-interest subsidized loan, and they will repay a mortgage.
Rockbridge Habitat recognizes major donors to each of the homes it builds by etching the benefactors' names on the cornerstones of the houses. Washington and Lee University's campus chapter of Habitat for Humanity partnered with State Farm Insurance to raise about a quarter of the $60,000 in materials it took to construct the Napier home.
We're really excited, and Thursday presents a great opportunity for us to meet with the family who the house is going to, and that's probably when it's going to become real. We're all really excited and happy about this, but I don't think we're really going to understand the full magnitude of our actions, you know, the effect of our actions, until we see the dedication of the house.
What does the new home mean to you guys?
Hell of a lot.
For the Rockbridge Report, I'm John Tompkins.
The political fallout of the Panama Papers has reached nearly every corner of the globe, including China. Chinese censors online and on television are blocking reports and discussions about the Panama Papers leak. CNN's Will Ripley has more in this report from Beijing.
Chinese censors apparently working overtime right now, scrubbing the airwaves and the web of any reference to the ICIJ investigation called the Panama Papers. Every time that CNN starts talking about the Chinese connection to all of this, our signal in mainland China goes to black. And it's not just on television. If you search on Chinese social media, you get an error message when you type in Panama or Panama Papers. And if you search Baidu, China's version of Google, only a few results pop up. At the very top, this editorial by the state-run newspaper Global Times claiming that all of this is a conspiracy by Western journalists to try to make non-Western government officials look bad. The mention in the Panama Papers that at least 7 relatives of current or former government officials have ties to these secretive offshore accounts, even though it doesn't necessarily indicate any criminal activity, it is clearly not something that the Communist Party is willing to discuss. In fact, at the Ministry of Foreign Affairs briefing, 3 different questions were asked about this, and they all got the same answer.
For such groundless accusations, I have no comment. As for the Panama Papers, I have no comment. I have no comment on this.
But China itself is waging its own high-profile war on corruption. The Communist Party has arrested thousands of government officials, both current and former, accusing them of accepting bribes, among other things, including just Tuesday, a retired general. But critics say that President Xi Jinping's crackdown, while aggressive, is also very selective, targeting those in lower and mid-level positions while leaving many closest to China's inner circle untouched. Will Ripley, CNN, Beijing.
For the past 20 years, Lexington's July 4th skyline has been filled with colorful hot air balloons. This year, Lexington's Sunrise Rotary is shifting its attention to the events on the ground. Instead of the balloons, Sunrise Rotary will present the July 4th fireworks and festival. Local and national musicians, including beloved Beatles cover band The Wanna Beatles, will make music on VMI's parade grounds this year. People coming to Lexington for the 4th of July may also see changes staying in an Airbnb home. Lexington Airbnb users could see an increase in regulation and oversight by the end of the year. Lexington Planning Director Arne Glazer said the regulations are a part of a complete overhaul of the city's existing ordinances. The new zoning ordinances will address safety concerns, taxes, and compatibility issues with neighbors. A neighborhood workshop will be held on Tuesday, April 12th at Wilburn Downing Middle School. Residents can voice their opinions and concerns at 7 p.m.
It's officially budget season for Rockbridge County Schools. This year, the school budget could reward teachers for their hard work and help make the division more competitive salary-wise. Peter Rathmel explains.
With summer vacation right around the corner, the Rockbridge County School Board is already prepping for next year. The first step, passing the budget, which would include a $1,200 raise for teachers, which W&L professor Tim Diet says would help Rockbridge compete with surrounding localities salary-wise.
The $1,200, I believe, is the result of analysis that shows the Rockbridge County public schools are falling behind a lot of their peers in compensation.
The school board has drafted a budget that makes fixing this disparity a priority. It is now up to the Board of Supervisors to approve the budget by mid-May.
There's been quite a bit of controversy in the last few years where the school board has presented to the supervisors what they view as needs and what the supervisors have viewed as wants.
Despite the controversy, the school board is confident that the Board of Supervisors will agree that the pay raise is necessary not just for the teachers, but the students as well.
I would love to be able to say we could be able to fund the raises at a minimum. Best case scenario, I'd love to be able to say we could fund the raises plus 2 or 3 positions, maybe 4.
Teachers have been asking for a raise since 2008, when the school division had to freeze salary raises to keep up with the economy. The last time the teachers received this substantial raise? The 1980s, under Governor Chuck Robb.
I remember when Governor Robb was the governor of Virginia, and for 2 years we had a 10% raise increase, which was significant. And probably the closest we've come to that has been maybe 3%.
The budget has been given to the Board of Supervisors, and now all the school system can do is wait. Thompson hopes that the budget will be formally approved by May 15th. This is Peter Rathmel with the Rockbridge Report.
Mississippi's governor has signed into law a controversial new measure. It allows individuals, religious organizations, and certain businesses to decline services to LGBT people. Critics say the new laws discriminate against the LGBT community. Backers say they protect religious freedom. But business leaders say it's bad for the bottom line. CNN's Kim Hutcherson has more.
Despite opposition, Mississippi's governor signed House Bill 1523 into law Tuesday. Governor Phil Bryant denies that the measure discriminates against LGBT people.
It doesn't create a discriminatory act or power on anyone's part. It simply protects someone's religious views against the state's interference.
Under the new law, religious organizations can fire or refuse employment to LGBT people or refuse to sell or rent property to them, and they can be denied medical service. Employers and schools can also make rules about bathroom access and establish gender-specific standards of dress. Major employers like Toyota, AT&T, and IBM have denounced the measure. This as North Carolina copes with fallout from its so-called religious freedom bill. PayPal has canceled plans to open a global operations center in Charlotte. Other businesses are also threatening to leave the state. Governor Pat McCrory insists the issue is privacy, not discrimination.
The only reason we had that interaction with the state legislature was to ensure that expectation of privacy would remain in our high schools, in our universities, and our community colleges.
Similar legislation in Georgia was vetoed by the governor last week after threats from sports franchises, major corporations, and movie studios to withdraw from the state. I'm Kim Hutcherson reporting.
Coming up, find out what's replacing the former Days Inn Keydet General off of Route 60. City officials say the health problems that shut down the Keydet General have been fixed.
I'm Claire Spots. Be sure to bring in your plants this weekend as we'll be experiencing cold temperatures with a chance of snow. I'll tell you about all that and more in your 5-day forecast coming up next.
Jimmy can't sing, and Tommy can't dance. So we're gonna put some ants in their pants. Aww.
Kids will spend 22 minutes watching us, the super duper party troopers, sing about ants in their pants.
Isn't that funny? Ants in their pants, they've got ants in their pants, they've got ants in their pants.
Brushing for 2 minutes now can save your child from severe tooth pain later. 2 minutes, twice a day. They have the time. Everybody has a dream. Mine was to see the ocean. And with a little help, I made it.
So, I'm kind of new here, but I've noticed a trend. My human does this funny thing where she goes around and gets all my toys, and then she hides them in that basket by the door. But it's always the same basket, and it's always in the same place. And then she acts so surprised when I find them, but, she's putting them in the same basket. Again. It's like, hello, that's where you put it last time. You were the worst at hide and go seek.
And roll, we say, we want you to be okay. And roll, we say, take care of people for goodness sake. There's a plan for every budget, so don't accept defeat. Now you can get covered and still buy me treats.
You take care of your pets. Now it's their turn to take care of you. Visit getcoveredamerica.org to learn about your health insurance options.
Many unstaffed garbage collection sites will likely be closing in the near future, but Kylie Sapp tells us about new staff sites that will be opening soon.
Most residents of the Rockbridge area do not have curbside garbage pickup and rely on dumpsters to get rid of their trash. Most of these dumpster sites are unstaffed, which Solid Waste Director Jeremy Garrett says causes lots of problems for the county.
We continue to have illicit dumping, whether it be through citizens that are not Rockbridge County citizens. Commercial waste is a big one, small contractors, and some of that's through lack of knowledge of the ordinance, and some of it's abuse. But it's very difficult to police.
Garrett says the solution to this is to close many of the unmanned sites and open several that are staffed. Although this will initially cost the city money, it will pay for itself.
Through looking at the strategic plan in conjunction with the New Holland contract, we see great potential to save significant amount of money annually. With that being said, there are some upfront capital improvement costs that would have to be put in place for the strategic plan to be effective, which would be the addition of potentially 2, even 3 new centers.
Garrett said they will save money in hauling, maintenance, site cleanup, and unauthorized and hazardous waste costs. Although this will benefit the county, not all citizens will be happy about these closures.
Dumpsters and the convenience of the dumpsters are an integral part of Rockbridge County. It's been that way for a long time, and people are used to that level of convenience, the 24-hour service, and if it can fit, put it in there.
Garrett says he welcomes input from the public and will take it into consideration before the plan is approved. Lexington is also waiting on approval for a new landfill on an adjacent site. For the Rockbridge Report, I'm Kylie Sapp.
If you live north of Lexington, you may have noticed a weird smell lately. The stench is coming from the wastewater treatment facility and is a result of warmer weather. As temperatures increase, the aerobic bacteria that are used to break down waste begin a feeding frenzy. It's this bacteria causing the smell.
That smell might have dissipated a bit this week. Temperatures have been much colder, haven't they, Claire?
That's right. We'll certainly not be breaking any record highs today. Taking a look at our weather, we'll see a live shot of Woods Creek. Let's see. Looking kind of overcast. It was raining a few minutes ago. It's expected to begin raining pretty soon. Taking a look at our almanac, you'll see our high for today is 58 degrees, a low of 34 degrees. Humidity stands at 46%. Winds are moving in from the west at 15 miles per hour. The barometer stands at 29.52 inches. Looking now at our current regional conditions, you'll see we're all pretty cloudy, raining on and off again. The high for our region is Lynchburg at 61 degrees. Low for our region is always as Covington at 44 degrees. Looking now at our satellite radar composite, you'll see moisture moving in from the west to the east, exiting out along the eastern seaboard. Now, if you take a closer look, you'll see the orange and the red represent showers and thunderstorms. As I said before, we'll be experiencing thunderstorms after 5 p.m. Looking now at our 5-day forecast, tomorrow we'll have a high of 52 degrees, low of 32 degrees. Showers are expected to begin in the evening. Now, Friday night is the night where you take inside any pets, plants, any other valuables you may have outside, because Saturday's temperatures are looking a tad weird due to a mixture of precipitation and low temperatures with a high of 42 degrees, a low of 23 degrees. You could be seeing some snow before 9 a.m. After 9 a.m., that precipitation will change to rain, and rain will continue throughout the day on Saturday. Clear skies will return Sunday with warmer temperatures. Spring temperatures will return again on Monday with a high of 69 degrees and sunny skies. Showers will begin Monday evening and will unfortunately continue throughout the day on Tuesday with a high of 64 degrees. Back to you.
Looks like we'll have to dust off those coats, Claire. A new hotel is replacing the former Days Inn Keydet General off of Route 60 West. A sign for Kingston Inn and Suites went up last week, but there's still no trace of activity on the property. The Keydet General was shut down last year after health inspectors found widespread mold, faulty fire alarms, and a broken sewage disposal system. City officials say those problems have been taken care of and gave Kingston Inn permission to let customers stay in the hotel.
Your emergency dispatch facility in Rockbridge County might be moving. We'll tell you where next.
And we'll take a look at what WNL is doing to acknowledge its past.
Hi, may I please have an application? Thank you.
Skip the drama. Get your GED.
Okay.
Take that first step towards a better future and sign up for free classes now at your
If you store your guns properly, I'll feel safer when I'm playing outside.
Safer when walking home.
I won't have to tell so many family members. I'm sorry.
I won't hear as many scary stories.
And I won't have to tell my kids. This isn't a drill.
Please.
Please, do it for us.
Your family, friends, and neighbors are all counting on you. Never let your gun get into the wrong hands. Remember, always, lock it up. Visit NCP.
No more pencils, no more books, no more teachers, dirty looks.
School's out for summer.
What this place needed was better graduation rates. So we worked with schools like Henry Ford High, and now they're up 18%.
To help us do more good this year, go to unitedway.org, because great things happen when we live united.
If you want to be a parent, it doesn't matter how you play, what you wear, how you dance, or even what direction life takes you. You just need to be there. You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care don't need perfection. They just need you.
On Tuesday, Washington and Lee held a ceremony revealing a historical marker that acknowledges the school's involvement with slavery. The marker lists the names of 84 slaves WNL inherited in 1826. The university said this is a step in continuing the conversation about the history of slavery at the school. On Friday, representatives from a consortium of Virginia colleges will gather at WNL to talk about ways to memorialize slavery on their campuses.
The next presidential primary is April 19th, and 12 days out, Bernie Sanders and Hillary Clinton are in a heated war of words. The topic of debate, who's more qualified? Clinton says she's confident in winning her political home state, and Sanders says he doesn't want a mudslinging campaign.
I know it's what the media loves. It is not the type of politics that I want to get in. But let me also be very clear. If Secretary Clinton thinks that I just come from the small state of Vermont, we're not used to this, well, we will get used to it fast. I'm not going to get beaten up. I'm not going to get lied about. We will fight back.
I'm going to trust the voters of New York who know me and have voted for me 3 times, twice for Senate, once in the presidential primary.
The former county courthouse at 2 South Main is still in business as the building turns 120 this year, but it was repurposed nearly 10 years ago. Caroline Boris has the history of the building.
2 South Main is home to the Washington & Lee Business and Human Resources offices, but it was once the circuit court for Rockbridge County. Bruce Patterson, who's been the clerk of courts for 38 years, saw firsthand the need for a new building.
The building was just literally falling apart. The ceiling in the judge's secretary's office had fallen on her desk one day. Thank goodness she wasn't sitting at the desk.
The old courthouse's design didn't meet modern needs. The single entrance and lack of metal detectors posed a security threat.
By the time we moved in here, the old courthouse was 112 years old, and it had served its purpose. And it's a great building, but it doesn't suit the needs for a present modern courthouse.
Tom Camden is director of Washington & Lee's Special Collections Department, which is home to the Rockbridge Historical Society's records for the old courthouse.
Courthouse, of course, is a historic structure. As historic structures go, it had become dysfunctional in a sense. It needed upgrading. This is Lexington, so anytime anyone talks about taking down anything from the historic district, there's a huge amount of concern and, as you would imagine, some outcry from the population.
In 2002, there was a referendum to build a new courthouse. When voters rejected it, Judge George Hans sued the Rockbridge County Board of Supervisors and the Lexington City Council. They reached an agreement after several years of litigation. The new courthouse opened in 2009.
I don't think we'd have a new courthouse if it wasn't for the lawsuit.
The old courthouse was sold and renovated. Now, Washington & Lee rents it for office space.
It has gone from being sort of dysfunctional public building to a very serious functional space.
While the initial plan for moving the courthouse was met with resistance, the end result appears to be working well for everyone.
This is a success story that isn't often the case when you're talking about historic structures. It usually ends up somebody's very unhappy, but this worked out beautifully.
With the Rockbridge Report, I'm Caroline Boris.
Rockbridge County plans to relocate its emergency dispatch facility from the Buena Vista Police Station to a funeral home just west of the city. But with costs adding up, Lexington and Buena Vista may choose to go a different direction. Abby Thornton tells us more.
For years, Rockbridge County has been looking to relocate its emergency dispatch center. The current center is run out of a small, cramped building adjoining to the Buena Vista Police Station. County supervisors and representatives from the cities of Lexington and Buena Vista agree that the current facility is too small. Adding to the concern is the facility's location.
The floods that we've had in the past, you can't get into Buena Vista from either direction. So you have an emergency operations center that you can't get to because of the placement.
But the county found a solution. It purchased an old funeral home on Route 60 for just under $400,000. But when the renovation estimates began adding up, the cities began having second thoughts. The building is now expected to cost about $2 million once the renovations are complete.
That's a lot of money, and that's money that we can't spend on other things like water infrastructure or public works infrastructure. And the two cities have a lot more pressing infrastructure needs than does the county that doesn't have the same kind of infrastructure requirements.
The county has offered to foot the initial cost of the renovations on condition that the cities each pay $20,000 a year over the next 20 years to the county. But even so, the cities maintain that they have been largely excluded from the county's decision-making process and would rather explore other options. As it stands, the three jurisdictions share one central dispatch facility. But if they cannot reach an agreement, the county is prepared to go through with its existing plans.
Well, we've already bought the building, so what do you think we're going to do?
The county says that it plans to have the new facility up and running by July of 2017, but whether or not the cities decide to get on board with the plans remains to be seen. For the Rockbridge Report, I'm Abby Thornton.
The current 911 center is listed as collateral for Buena Vista's golf course loans. Buena Vista defaulted on the loans in a December 2014 City Council meeting. So the insurance company holding the note could claim the police station at any time. With its police station hanging in the balance, the city may have no choice but to go along with the county's plan.
Up next, they've hosted the Bull and Oyster Fest for 10 years, but we'll show you how the stakes are much higher now.
If you don't fix them, sparks from dragging tow chains could cause a wildfire, and that could be scary.
Smokey.
Only you can prevent wildfires.
In the small town of Elmira, New York, a boy was born into an all-American family. The odds of him achieving his dream in the fashion industry? 1 in 23 million. The odds of having a child diagnosed with autism? 1 in 68. I am Tommy Hilfiger, and my family is affected by autism. Learn more at autismspeaks.org/signs.
He's on his way. He doesn't even know that we're here. Is he okay? Please tell me he's okay.
Laura.
Okay, try to call him again.
There's no signal.
Try.
Nothing's working.
Well, just
Everything's
try.
down.
This is so bad. He's out there by himself.
Make sure you know where to find your family in an emergency. Start your plan at ready.gov.
We now turn to Ashley with sports. It sure has been a busy week with the Final Four, opening day, and the first golf major.
It sure has been. The Masters teed off at Augusta National Golf Club this morning, and patrons and players alike have been on the grounds all week preparing for golf's first major of the year. Many are following defending champion Jordan Spieth. Spieth lapped the field last year when he shot a record-tying 18 under par, and he is back at it again. He fired an opening round 66 to take the first round lead at 6 under par. Major League Baseball kicked off its season this week, and the closest team to the Rockbridge area is off to a hot start. The Washington Nationals are 2-0. The Nationals beat the Atlanta Braves 4-3 in the season opener and followed it up with a 3-1 victory on Wednesday. The Nats have their home opener today at 4:05 against the Miami Marlins. In college baseball, Washington and Lee won its 1,000th game in program history. They defeated Roanoke this weekend 10-4. They are 22-10 on the season, and the Washington and Lee men's and women's lacrosse teams are riding winning streaks into their mid-season exam break. The men's team beat Bridgewater 21-3 last night for its 7th win in a row. The women's team downed Roanoke 16-5 on Wednesday for its 6th straight win. Back to you, Keenan.
Let's hope those streaks keep going, Ashley. The Rockbridge Area Health Center is planning a huge expansion of its operations. To help fund this expansion, the health center recently had its 10th annual Rockbridge Bull and Oyster Fest. Henry Lozado was on the scene.
Beer, barbecue, and bluegrass music were the center of attention at the 10th annual Bull and Oyster Fest. Over 400 people gathered at Devil's Backbone Brewery on Saturday to participate in the fundraiser for the Rockbridge Area Health Center.
Everything raised at this event will support the mission of the Health Center to provide healthcare services to people in the Rockbridge area.
Health Center CEO Suzanne Sheridan says the center plans to serve upwards of 6,000 patients this year, nearly double the amount it served last year. A $1 million government grant will fund planned renovations to the building, but daily operations need to be paid for through fundraising and donations.
We have to raise, somewhere in the neighborhood of $700,000 a year.
Robbie Jones is a local business owner who has volunteered at events for the health center for 20 years. He says the health center's expansion has changed both the organization and the Bull and Oyster Fest.
Obviously, big expansion. They are helping so many more, hundreds, thousands of people every year, and of course, obviously need that much more money for their operations.
Sheridan said the event raised about $25,000 to fund the daily operations of the health center. More importantly, it raised awareness of the health center and also provided a fun way to help the community.
We focus on what we think Virginia does best, so oysters and barbecue, bluegrass music, and a good cause.
For the Rockbridge Report, I'm Henry Lozado.
That's it for our final broadcast of the semester. Stay tuned for 3 special newsmaker programs, including reporter Isidro Camacho's interview with environmentalist DeJuan Robinson.
And visit our website anytime at rockbridgereport.wlu.edu. From all of us here, thank you so much for joining us, and we wish you a relaxing summer. See you in the fall.